manuals called Entertaining the Speaker, and he's working through project number 2. Sharon, his time is 5 to 7 minutes. And his objectives are to entertain, yet make a point, or give a call to action. So, Ray Loveson, I need help, Ray Loveson.
I need help. I joined Toastmasters to learn. Are you ready to help me learn? Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. Last week, I asked you to help to include me more often in table topics so that I can learn to be more effective in impromptu speaking. This week, I'm asking for more help. I have always been a little hard of hearing, or hearing challenged, more correct these days, which has led to learning problems or learning challenges. Until now, at Toastmasters, I have avoided totally doing any evaluations, as I'm sure you have noticed. I now ask for your help to assist me to learn how to evaluate. How can you help me learn to evaluate? Let's first examine the various learning categories. The most widely used model of learning categories is Fleming's VARK model. Sounds like fart, only it's VARK. V-A-R-K. V stands for visual. And visual learners obviously learn mostly by seeing. The A stands for auditory learning, the area that I do not do very well in. Then we have the R in the VARK, which stands for reading and writing. Apparently you don't have to spell. So I'll leave that one alone. And the last one, the K, is kinesthetic. Now, a kinesthetic learner learns best by doing, feeling, and having an experience. So for myself, the visual and the kinesthetic is where I learn the most. So here's how you can help me to learn. First, as I previously mentioned from last week, include me more often in table topics. And that will force me to do more impromptu speaking. Now, if I have willing speakers that will have me evaluate your speech, I would appreciate that. Having gone through my auditory challenge, and reading and writing doesn't come into it, but the kinesthetic and the visual is what I will work on. Those that are acceptable to me doing their evaluation will need to be brave, adventurous, and possibly thick-skinned. The experience will force both of us into uncharted learning territory. There is no way of predicting what I might say. As I said, I'm mostly kinesthetic and visual in my observational abilities or aptitudes. Therefore, you may have to be prepared for the possibility of me not hearing much of your particular speech. And I will have to evaluate you from my other abilities rather than the auditory. Because if I hear very little of your speech, I have to evaluate you on what I feel, on what I saw, and what I felt like I experienced from the experience of trying to concentrate and be perspective. It may not be the evaluation that you're used to or would expect. Really, what is an evaluation? Well, let's review the purpose of an evaluation from Toastmasters. Although I would like to call it a re-evaluation instead of an evaluation. My Toastmasters manual hasn't been updated yet. They're still calling it effective evaluation. At the beginning, it states here, if you truly want to improve your speaking, you must learn how to give as well as receive helpful evaluations. That's why for those brave and courageous individuals, they will be learning as I will be learning. Under introduction on page 5, it says, good evaluators strive to find the middle ground, giving evaluations that are helpful and encouraging. So even though I may have some shortfalls in the auditory, it is still my job to be encouraging and positive. On page 6, under the subheading, the evaluator's role, I found this very interesting. The evaluator is not a judge or an authority on speaking. An evaluation is an opinion, nothing more, quote unquote. So I can use the skills I have. I'm not an expert, so what I don't hear, I believe now, after reading the manual, I don't have to worry about that. I will work with the tools that I have. On page 7 of the manual, the heading, read the evaluation guide for the project. So when there's an evaluation, as everyone's aware of, I need to read the questions in the guide. Now, it says, if you want to comment on other aspects of the person's efforts, you are welcome to do so, quote unquote. So I feel very welcome to do so at this point, even though I have been holding back until now. The next heading, in your evaluation. In our book, there are questions that the evaluator goes through, but I found this point very interesting. Quote unquote, you need not comment on every question. That works good for my deal. And I might not deal with each question, because if I haven't heard well, then I don't have to feel bashful about not commenting on that particular situation. And under delivery, it says that I must smile. I'll work on smiling. Under the heading, how you say it, it says to use words that describe your own reactions to the speaker. Words such as, I was impressed with, or I was confused about. So if there's too much that deals with the hearing, being confused about it is not a problem, according to the manual. And as I conclude, it says to conclude on a positive note that helps build self-esteem and self-confidence. Now, in my case, when the manual gets revised to a re-evaluation, you will have the opportunity for those brave souls to laugh and chuckle at my evaluation. So now I ask all those brave and adventurous individuals that are speakers to help me by going to our VP of Education and saying that you now are ready for your special and individualized re-evaluation.
Thanks, Ray, for that interesting speech. And now, Sharon, if you can give us 2 minutes.